You cut that out now, or you'll go home in man pants.
Because we're gonna go in there, we're gonna impeach them up.
We will not go quietly into the night.
I'm not going to let him come here and burn this flag.
So the portion
You don't
of what
think
we do.
you have a monopoly?
America will never be a socialist country.
Hello, America. We are your heretic.
I'm Austin Wolf,
And I'm Nathan Most.
and it's time for some heresy. And apparently the Inquisition's coming hard down on YouTube right now.
Spanish Inquisition that nobody expected. It's happening.
Yes. So on my screen, there won't be a Nathan Cam this video. This is kind of last minute.
Sorry.
I barely have my morning coffee, but it's happening. So, Black Pigeon Speaks. Nathan, you are a subscriber to Black Pigeon Speaks.
Yep. Been a subscriber for 4 years now. So, well, 3 years, yeah. And yeah, wake up this morning and he is gone. YouTube banned him completely.
And I think the scariest part about this, Pigeon Speaks has nearly 500,000 subscribers. There's much smaller YouTube channels out there that have much less subscribers that aren't banned, that say much edgier stuff. I think they only banned him because of his influence. And you watch his videos, he didn't go overtly racist or anything like that in his videos, right?
No, I mean, his videos, sure, they were a little bit edgy. They weren't, say, the nicest thing in the world, but he was never saying women shouldn't have the right to vote, and, we should kill minorities and ban immigration. He was very practical and very reasonable in a lot of his arguments. And, he lived in Japan. From what I know, he was a Canadian who lived in Japan. I don't know how you could get some radical racist from that. But just the crazy part is he had about 500,000 subscribers, and yet they were still able to just completely ban him, and overnight, everything he's ever done is just gone. What does that say for any smaller channel? And in the wake of Steven Crowder and all this, they're slowly making their way up to banning the bigger channels, too.
Yeah, it's terrifying. Especially as we put out these videos. We're just starting, and we're starting into the worst climate I think YouTube's ever had. If you can get away with banning 500,000 people, 500,000 channels with 500,000 people in it, and it's kind of incredible. He's been doing this apparently since 2011. I didn't know that, and so his livelihood has just been taken off of YouTube.
Yeah, and he was demonetized as well. A lot of his videos are talking about that in the wake of the YouTube mass demonetization, and that was one thing. To not get money for your videos, that's bad. But this is just another level. This is just no warning, no oh, well, it might happen soon. YouTube just bans him. That's just scary. That's just Big Brother. And unfortunately, YouTube and most social media platforms, not that YouTube is necessarily social media, but they're all monopolies. It's not like you can just say, well, I'm just going to go to another site. I'll just go somewhere else and make videos. Because in the end, nothing competes with YouTube. And in ways that's good, because the quality of YouTube is very high and you can find everything there. But then in a lot of ways that's really bad, because if something like this happens, there's only so much us, the YouTube community, can do.
Kind of incredible. Which brings us to this Breitbart article. It's on the 5th of June, so it's a few days late. At this point, about 8 days late. I think I'm doing my math right.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have the most recent things that have happened, but Black Pigeon Speaks apparently. I was reading the article a little earlier. Let me see if I can find the line. So videos from Milo Yiannopoulos, Gavin McInnes, and Black Pigeon Speaks have reportedly been deleted. So Black Pigeon Speaks got hit earlier on the 5th, or as of the 5th. It has videos deleted, and then YouTube just turned around and said, well, actually, the channel is now deleted. And I'm not sure. I haven't heard any reason for that. And YouTube did explain for reasoning in a blog post. And not if you've been living in a hole this entire time, you would this would be the first time hearing. But Fox and Steven Crowder start off this the Vox Apple. What are they calling it now? The Vox Ad
I think
Apocalypse.
the Vox Apocalypse.
Although it's much less of an adpocalypse, more of a banning. It seems. It just seems like a general like censorship.
Yeah, I mean, this is just big tech censorship. But the timing, I think, is very peculiar, especially with everything going on in Crowder and Vox. I mean, you'd think YouTube would walk on eggshells, because really everyone's mad at them. I mean, conservatives are mad that they just demonetized Crowder and are going against him. And then, Vox and the right and the left is mad that YouTube's doing nothing. And this just really couldn't come at a worse time. And I was subscribed to Black Pigeon Speaks, and his most recent videos, I mean, they weren't... It's not like there was anything particularly special. They were his same format, same style. It wasn't particularly revelation or anything revolutionary. So it's just crazy why they decided, all right, right now it's when Black Pigeon Speaks, unless maybe they thought it was the right time, maybe they've been working at it for months and it just led up to now. Who knows?
Well, Steven Crowder, I was watching a video, and YouTube is basically admitting to this. I think they're just trying to get rid of alternate media in general. Our systems may include more videos from authoritative sources like top news channels. The Breitbart article points this out. I expect you all to read it, so I think you can see the link right there. But it's basically pointing out just the things that YouTube have been saying about this. And it seems like they're getting rid of alternate media, they're getting rid of just every form of free media to put in authoritative sources because they feel threatened. So it goes... there's so many different dimensions to this, and it's hard to ignore the relationship between YouTube and these top news channels.
I think they absolutely feel threatened. If Black Pigeon Speaks and the conservative Steven Crowder, I mean, if they were just, oh, well, they're fine, they don't have much of an influence, they're just making their fun little videos, we'll leave them alone. If that were the case, then YouTube wouldn't bother banning them, they wouldn't demonetize them, because what's the point? I mean, if they're making videos and it's a mutual relationship of getting money from advertisers, then it's a good deal. But the whole reason that Black Pigeon Speaks is gone and InfoWars is gone and Steven Crowder was demonetized, and the whole reason that YouTube's clamping down on anyone right of center is because we're a threat. We're a very big threat to them because their big establishment, multi-billion-dollar corporations just can't compete with little YouTubers at home making videos, whether it be Crowder or whether it was Black Pigeon Speaks or anyone else. They just can't win. They can't beat the truth. They can't defeat our ideas. So because of that, and the left, they're not known for being a moral people, well, they're going to fight in any way they can. And the easiest thing for YouTube to do is just to ban conservatives. So I think this is just the beginning. It's Black Pigeon Speaks today, and then they'll come for who knows who next. I mean, it could be Stefan Molyneux, could be Jordan Peterson, could be even Steven Crowder. I mean, at this point, if they can ban a channel with 500,000 subscribers, just like that, then no one's safe.
Well, I think that the best way to respond to this is to use the same tactics that Media Matters uses on other channels. So I would suggest getting this out there, spreading the outrage. You don't need to do it. It's not a call to violence, but it is a call for people to talk about it, for people to tweet it out, for people to make it known that this is a blatant censorship. That way, it becomes the issue, rather than if Media Matters can just flip advertisements off of major news networks by having 20 people call up a company with the same issue. We might as well make this bigger controversy than they want it to be. Make it as open and as clear to people that this is obviously bad.
Yeah. I think we can't be silent during this. We have to do something, whether it be, of course, violence is never the answer, doxing people, never the answer.
Yes.
But, I mean, for all the bigger YouTubers, they need to talk about it and make videos on it and say this is not okay. For anyone who has any sort of relationship with YouTube, we just need to get talking about it. Because if we can get enough people talking about it, if we can get enough people on YouTube and off of YouTube saying, look, we might not agree with Black Pigeon Speaks, because, there are things I really didn't agree with Black Pigeon Speaks. I think some of what he said, just wasn't for me. But banning him, I mean, if you believe in free speech, which we do, and America as a country, we believe in free speech. We believe in all speech, whether we like it or not, especially if we don't like it. And this goes against free speech. This is censorship. I mean, this is anti-American, what they're doing.
Right. So yeah, bigger YouTubers, obviously, we're not going to get a lot of clicks on our own. So go tweet this out, or just tweet out Black Pigeon Speaks is banned. This is terrible, or anything. Just get the word out there, and we will.
Yep.
Hopefully, we'll be able to start a controversy big enough to get them back.
I think regulation usually isn't the answer, and less government is usually better. These are not okay, and monopolies need to be dealt with. And what we need to do here is ask, whether it be Pinterest or Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, and say, okay, are you a publisher or a platform? If you're a publisher, then all of a sudden, you're held liable for what you say, and they're allowed to censor people on their platform, on their site, and they're allowed to say what goes on or what doesn't go on. But then they're held to a higher standard, and there'll be a lot more repercussions for saying things that are incorrect. Now, or if they say they're a platform, okay, that's great, then you're not held liable for anything anyone says on your platform. However, you can't ban people. Everybody has the right to your platform if it is a platform. And I think the U.S. government, Daddy Trump in Washington, has to go to these companies and say, are you a platform or are you a publisher? I mean, whether it be him, whether it be a congressional committee, I don't know how you would do this, but it needs to be done. There needs to be regulation on this, because otherwise we're just going to get conservatives banned if we do nothing. That's what's happening.
Well, I'm a big fan of what Steven Crowder says a lot, which is transparency laws. Make them, again, admit if they're a publisher or a platform. Are they an open forum for everybody to talk, or are they just another news site that uses people as journalists? Maybe YouTube should just not. YouTube is probably not going to allow political content after this on the right. It'd be fine if they said, "I don't want any politics in YouTube." Period. It'd be like, okay, well, that's your prerogative, YouTube. But say that they do allow it, and then they disallow only one side is a problem.
Well, the problem is, I'm going to try and sympathize with leftists here. I know it sounds crazy. For them, these are far left people. I mean, these are people who think socialism's a good idea. I mean, 10 years ago, if you said you were a national socialist or a socialist, people would laugh at you. They'd be like, wow, you're pretty dumb, aren't you? And these days, National Socialism is becoming mainstream, whether it be AOC or Bernie Sanders. So for these people, anyone right of center, anyone who says, well, maybe we shouldn't tax people ridiculously. Maybe we should focus on border control. Maybe abortion, not till the third trimester. Just not even like hardcore conservative. They're going to think is extremists. So to kind of try and understand them, they might think that we're just whining because they're all radical. Why would we want someone radical and extreme being able to speak? But for them, they don't really have a good perception of who is radical and who isn't. And of course, they don't believe in free speech. So, of course, they're going to ban people they don't like. But of course, the issue with that is whoever's in charge can just ban whoever they don't like. So it would come back to bite them in the end. But story for another time. They don't really know it's extreme. That's kind of the issue.
It's just shocking that I guess it's just kind of a strange way to wake up. You don't realize it until it's your channel. I remember pulling up Black Pigeon Speaks videos, and I remember listening to them while I do some of my homework back in the day. I didn't listen to as much anymore. I found them a little less entertaining, I guess. Our disagreements as if we were equals, but I didn't agree with a lot of what he said at one point. Think progress. So, this is going to be good.
Sounds wonderful already.
The headline is, let me scroll up. Conservatives cry censorship after YouTube rolls out a new anti-extremism policy. But it just didn't become enjoyable. But now that I look back, I'm like, well, I imagine if, let's say that this was, let's let's say this was Sargon of Akkad. I listen to a lot of Sargon of Akkad. If I wake up one day and Sargon of Akkad is banned, then everything changes for him, obviously. I mean, he would have to go to a different platform and get much less viewers. And then for me, because I can't watch his content readily available, I have to get a whole other app. And that's their hope, is that they'll wane us off of these sites to, if we want to stick around on YouTube. And anyways, that's the Think Progress article. I couldn't find that many people around it because the left is oddly silent about this. But this is one of the articles that came up. And it's pretty thorough, but it's obviously from the left perspective. Go read it if you would like. Think Progress. Conservatives cry censorship after YouTube rolls out new anti-extremism policy.
Well, there's one important thing I would say about Black Pigeon Speaks, and that is, funny enough, I don't watch him as much as I used to as well, like you, but it's important to note that he's not necessarily, I take no offense to Black Pigeon Speaks, but he's not, I think, at the prime of his YouTube career. I think his prime is definitely like 2017-16, during and after the election, where when he would talk about Canada, Trudeau, and even Trump and globalism, he would talk about all the hot button issues, and he could get millions of views on some of his videos. Like, some of them just went trending and were absolutely popular. And that was almost the height of his YouTube career. I mean, he was still growing slowly. And not that he was doing bad, but his videos aren't getting nearly as many views as they once did. And that's just how it is. I guess some people just go through cycles, and that was kind of true with me watching his videos, where I used to love him, and now it's like, I don't know if I like them anymore. But the crazy part is they're still watching. Black Pigeon Speaks isn't the hot button YouTuber of the day. He's not Crowder. He's not Sargon. He's still well known, but he's not like at the very top of that list. He's not Paul Joseph Watson, and yet they still are watching. And I think that's important for all people on YouTube, off of YouTube. Really, everyone needs to know that YouTube, they're still watching you. Whether you're in the spotlight or not, they're still watching you. And even Black Pigeon Speaks, who even said that health or universal health care isn't necessarily a bad idea. I mean, he lived in Japan.
Yeah,
he's got some reasonable views in a lot of ways. Some of them are a little more edgy, but he's by no means like a neo-Nazi.
Exactly. I have not seen a single YouTuber that has gotten any popularity that is actually advocating for any sort of white supremacism. And even those who even touch into race usually don't get that far. They touch into racial differences and stuff like that. That's a whole other topic. BPS sent out a tweet saying that YouTube, Keemstar, and Teamcast all woke up to my channel being deleted. It was fully monetized, was in good standing, and had no strikes. Had a 95 to 99% like ratio with almost 500. I follow the rules carefully. I've not broken any of them. Is this a mistake? He later that was his post. He later retweeted, "This is bullshit. Don't let them get away with slowly turning up the temperature of the pot by incrementally banning us one by one. Kick up a massive fuss every single time one of our lads gets taken down unjustifiably. Hashtag free BPS." So, if you want to start the controversy, you want to get it out there, exactly what BPS has been saying. Hashtag free BPS. YouTube censorship. Any way we can get it out there. Let's remind them that
let's make some noise.
We exist. Yes.
I mean, we are half of the population. We're not going to go silently into the night. Let's stop being the silent majority and let's become the vocal majority. Right. And let's get our boy back. Let's get Black Pigeon Speaks back.
Let's get our boy back. All right. Well, thank you everyone for watching. This is just kind of just a freeform video. We just saw this happening. It might not be as refined as they usually are. I want to get it out as fast as possible, get the word out. But thank you for joining us in a bit of heresy. Nathan, you wanna add anything?
Yep. As always, I encourage you to comment down below if you disagree with us. If you agree, anything you want to say, let's start a discussion. Commenting is the most important thing you can do. Let us know how you feel. Otherwise, thanks for committing some heresy.
Bye, guys.
All right. God bless.